In this video we're going to have a look at a couple of simple interest problems where we're looking at repaying loans. Now something that's very important in these questions is that when you're working out the total amount that you need to repay the amount you actually borrow plus the interest. So something that a lot of students do when they're working out the total repayment is they just use the interest. Okay, but if you're borrowing some money, you have to pay the person that you borrowed the money off what you borrowed plus any interest that's been charged. So let's have a look at a couple of example questions. So the first one says $5,000 is borrowed incurring simple interest over 4 years at 5% per annum. What is the total amount repaid over the 4 years? Okay, so because it's a simple interest problem, we start by working out how much interest the person needs to pay. So we just use I equals PRN. And if we look at the question, we can see that the principal amount is 5,000. That's how much they've borrowed. The interest rate is 5%. Remember, we have to write that as a decimal. So we can write it as 0.05. And the number of years is 4. So that means that the total interest that has to be paid is $1,000. Now, the total amount that has to be repaid is going to be the amount borrowed plus the interest. So it's 5,000 plus 1,000, giving us a total of $6,000. Okay, now let's have a look at another question. Sarah borrows $18,000 to have a pool installed. She repays the loan over 3 years at 7.25% simple interest per annum. What is her monthly repayment? So in this question, we're going to do the same sort of thing we did in the last one. We're going to work out, first of all, what the total repayment is. So to do that, we start by working out the interest. So the interest is PRN. This time the principal's 18,000. The rate is 0.0725. Don't forget to always divide this percentage by 100 to turn it into a decimal. And the number of years is 3 years. So if we work that out, we find that the total amount of interest she has to pay is $3,915. Now we work out the total that she has to repay. So the total repaid is equal to, well, the amount that she borrows, so the 18,000 plus the 3,915, giving us a total of $21,915. Now to work out the monthly repayment, we have to look at how many months she takes this loan out over. So it says it's 3 years, so the number of months, well, there's 12 months in a year, so it's just 12 times 3, which gives us 36. And therefore our monthly repayment, we need to divide the total repaid by 36. So it's 21,915 divided by 36, giving us a monthly repayment of $608.75. Okay, now we'll have a look at a question that's a little bit different. We're going to have a look at a question where you borrow money, but you pay a deposit first. So whenever you pay a deposit first, you don't actually borrow the full amount. You only borrow the remainder. So that's really important to remember in these questions. So this one says Alice buys a car for $15,000 on terms. She pays a 30% deposit and pays off the remainder at 6% per annum simple interest over 4 years. So the first part we need to work out is how much deposit does she pay. So the question says that the deposit is 30% of the 15,000. So the deposit is 15,000 times 30 over 100, or 0.3, whatever you prefer, and that gives us a deposit of 4,500. So So the next part says what amount is borrowed. Now, she doesn't need to borrow the full $15,000 because she's already paid for a $4,500 deposit. So the amount she borrows is actually $15,000 minus her deposit. So really, to buy this pool, after she's made the deposit, she's really only borrowing $10,500. So the next part, how much interest is charged? Well, we use I equals PRN. So the principal, the amount she borrows, is $10,500. The rate is 6%, so 0.06 per annum, and the number of years is 4. So we can work out how much interest she pays, and we figure that out to be $2,520. The next part asks for the total amount repaid. Now, the total amount repaid, in this case, we're going to exclude the deposit because we just want to work out how much she pays over the life of the loan. So the total amount repaid is going to be the amount she borrows, so the $10,500 plus the $2,520, and that gives us $13,020. Notice if the question said how much does she pay for the pool in total, well then she pays this amount, but she's also paid the deposit, so we'd have to add them together. But in this case, we're just trying to work out the repayments. So the last part says, what is the monthly repayment? Well, she pays the loan off over 4 years, and 4 years, that's 48 months. So it's 12 months each year. So to work out the monthly repayment, we've just got to divide these repayments by 48, and that gives us $271.25 per month.